Hi there. Thank you for joining me on Christian Coffee with Crunchy Berries. Today we are going to be going over Revelation chapter 6 verses 1 through 8, which begins the discussion of the 70th week of Daniel, commonly known as the tribulation period. The first seal is an introduction of the four horsemen: conquest, war, famine, and death. Now the seven seals probably cover about the first 21 months of the tribulation, but today I'm going to be going over just the first four seals, the four horsemen. Verse 1, Christ as the Lamb of God has taken the book or the scroll out of the hand of the Father who sits on the throne. Christ breaks the seals one at a time, and as each seal is broken, the contents are revealed. Okay, and one of the four living creatures speaks with a voice like thunder, signifying impending judgment. Now I'm not sure which of the four living creatures is speaking, because it just says one of the four. Verse number 2, and I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Now, in this verse, the rider is not Christ, because Christ is opening the seals. But Christ will return in the 70th week of Daniel on a white horse in Revelation 19. I believe that this rider is the Antichrist, who is entering history as a conqueror. Okay, now the interesting thing is, his head is crowned, signifying the rulership. And he has a bow with no arrows, which signifies that he conquers not only by military might, okay, but also by deception. You know, he's real good with the tongue. You know, he can talk and get you to believe, you know, anything. He's going to deceive a lot of people. Okay, now the Greek word for crown denotes a victor's crown, and white denotes victory. Now the Antichrist is an imitator of Jesus and is referred to as the little horn in Daniel 7 and 8. And he rises to power out of the 10 kingdoms of the reconstituted Roman Empire. And now some people theorize that this rider is Gog, the military leader of Ezekiel 38 and 39. But Gog doesn't operate by deception as does the Antichrist, but by military might. Now, and Gog is he's on the geopolitical scene only for a short time. God destroys him on the mountains of Israel, where the Antichrist is not destroyed until the Battle of Armageddon at the end of the age. Okay, now verse number 4 says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. Like all man-made false promises, peace is promised, and peace of the Antichrist fails. The world erupts into war, and peace is taken away by the great sword. Now the fiery red horse represents war, which is a natural reaction from the first horse, which came out to conquer. It's going to lead to war, you know, trying to fight the conquering. Okay, and taking peace from the earth indicates that the world's going to be engulfed in wars, just all over the place. There's just going to be war here, war there, war here. It's going to be an extreme magnitude. Okay, verse 5 says, and when he opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. Okay, verse 6 says, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. This is the introduction to worldwide famine. Now we have famine in different countries. I believe Guatemala just declared an extreme famine in their country. But this is an introduction to a worldwide famine. You know, there's not going to be any help from anybody. There's nobody to give any help. And but you still have your oil and wine, which is, I believe, a representation of the food for the rich, which also shows us that even during these trying times, there's still going to be an injustice to man, from the rich to the poor. Okay, now the black horse is the symbol of famine, which naturally follows the other two horses of war and conquering. And the scales shows the severity and the scarcity of food, the severity of the famine. The voice in the midst of the four living creatures probably belongs to either God the Father or God the Son. And the denarius was a penny, or a day's wages. In essence, all of the person's money must go strictly to food. They don't have no money for anything else, rent, sneakers, soap. So, you know, it's going to be pretty severe. Now, verse number 8 says, "And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth." Okay, now the pale horse actually is like a chlorine, or a yellow-green in color, and the rider is Death, and Hades follows after. But it is not stated whether or not that Hades, which is following Death, is on a horse. So I don't know if Hades is following or following on a horse. I'm going to venture to say here that Death is only visiting the ungodly. Okay, the reason I believe is because Hades follows Death, and Hades is the abode for the unrighteous. So I don't see how they would visit the righteous when, you know, it's Hades that's coming. Now, power is given to Death and Hades over 1/4 of the earth, which refers to, you know, mankind. Power implies death, which is from Satan. Death and Hades could also refer to the fallen satanic angels who rule over the nether regions. To kill with the sword refers to the wars of the second seal, and to kill with hunger is the famine of the third seal. Now, the beasts of the earth can refer to a number of things, such as animals, poisonous snakes, rats, black plagues, ungodly, powerful, politically and military dictators. We won't mention any by name right off the hand.
Obama.
You're a funny one.
Just kidding.
Who are many times referred to as beasts. Now, some scholars say that perhaps that a virus is the agent for this fulfillment of this prophecy. You know, like maybe a superbug, you know, like a, you know, kind of like a swine flu,
Pig
you
flu.
know, that has gone on, you know, like a swine flu on steroids type thing. Well, 1/4 is quite a lot of people, about 2 billion people. So we'll just have to wait and see what that is. Okay, so thank you for joining me on Christian Coffee with Crunchy Berries. That was verses 1 through 8 of chapter 6, and we'll be back with the rest of chapter 6. Till then, have a good day.